voice like rain on an old tin roof brings stories alive with a soothing truth. In pages he weaves a world so light. The stars lean close to kiss the night. His voice lulls hearts in restless mind, lost in tales where dreams unwind. The book feather reads as shadows rise. His words are calm as lullabies. So turn the page and close your eyes. Float where the quiet whispers lie. Across the oceans the story's tide. Relax and let the world subside. 1,000 accents the moonlight bends, in words no borders, no distance ends. Worlds collide in his gentle tone. A whisper makes you feel at home. Each line he shares feels like coming back to a hearth of words in the silent black. From novels deep to poems that sway, he reads the night into the day. So turn the page and close your eyes. Float where the quiet whispers lie. Across the oceans the story's tide. Relax and let the world subside. 1,000 accents the moonlight bends, in words no borders, no distance ends. Across the oceans the story's tide. Relax and let the world subside. A voice like rain on an old tin roof brings stories alive with a soothing truth. In pages he weaves a world so light. The stars lean close to kiss the night. His voice lulls hearts in restless mind, lost in tales where dreams unwind. The book feather reads as shadows rise. His words are calm as lullabies. So turn the page and close your eyes. Float where the quiet whispers lie. Across the oceans the story's tide. Relax and let the world subside.
and gentlemen.
Giggity. All right. Seems quiet. Too quiet. I'm Batman. Gotham is never safe without me. What time is it? It's 7 o'clock. Okay, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. You can attach towers? Shut up. Impromptu performance this evening, which I must say was indeed a welcome distraction. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. You're very kind. This is going to be funny. Good evening. It is wonderful to see you. Hello, hello. I hope we're doing well. Yes? I hope so. Today's a big day. For a couple different reasons. Kat, it's wonderful to see you as well. Happy Father's Day. Thank you. Mad Locust. Hello, hello. Noise. Good God, that was loud. I had my volume a little bit too high. Did you just get back from that conference? No. No, I did not. But here's the thing. So, my Twitch anniversary technically is in 2 days on the 17th. I won't be here, so I told Twitch to make it today. Like, this would be today's celebration, right? So I get down here, I check the Twitch stuff, and did it save today's date? No. Even though I told it, I clicked the thing, right? I went into the dashboard for the channel. Stream date. I changed the stream date to the 15th, which is today. And it said it saved it. But it did not. So I'm mad. Still Mama's Mama, hi. Hello, good to see you. Thank you for the 33 months. Holy crap. Dang. That's a long time. So yes, it should have been telling you, oh, hey, it's your anniversary. Yada, yada, yada. But it didn't, because Twitch is dumb. Because Twitch is dumb. You look dashing. Thank you so much. I feel dashing. That I can tell you. For you, Stop Mama's Mama. No, darn. It was close. It was close. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I just thought of this. Since this is me celebrating that anniversary, even though Twitch didn't frickin' change it, we're going to do double spins. Double the chance of landing on that gift card that seems to evade every human being possible. So I tried twice. I'm not doing double workouts. Don't even think about it. But Double spins? Absolutely. So, hi Kay. This is the hat that I made when I was out of town, and I hadn't realized at the time, but I picked a hat that was slightly hurt on the top here, but it's okay. I love this hat. I don't look good in hats usually, and I think it's still debatable about this one, but well, let me just show you. I feel like I should be like in the mob, maybe, you know? Hey, Frankie, did you talk to that guy? Did you? And did he pay us? Did he pay us what he owes us? That's it. He's gonna be swimming with the fishes. Anyway, I think you look very LA Noir. Oh, thank you. You have a black one, never wear? I had a black one. I didn't like it. I got rid of it. Would smash? I mean, what? Who said that? I didn't hear anything. Okay, you have a black one as well? So a couple of years ago, I was at a very different conference, same place, with the same kind of Kentucky Derby theme. And at the time, I was wearing a black suit, so I was like, oh, I'll make a black fedora to go with it. But I ended up hating it. I hated it. It just... No. So this time, I learned my lesson, and I went for quite the opposite, but with pattern, you know, the palm trees. And then, you know, I added the blue ribbon and my poor feather. So, you know, I like it. Can't wear it with my headphones though, so that's a downside there. But it is what it is. Anyway, tonight's stream is gonna go a little bit longer than usual. I think it's the bow that does it for me. Yeah, I thought about seeing if I could put it right here, but it's a wee bit small. So yeah, since I will not be here Tuesday because I am leaving again in the morning for another trip, I figured it would make more sense to go a little bit longer today. Plus, I'm using this as my excuse to celebrate my 4th year on Twitch, because according to this, my affiliate anniversary was June 17th, 2021. Which feels like a long time ago, but at the same time, it feels like it was last week. So, you know, figure that out. Wait a minute. Your scheduled celebration begins at 7 a.m. the day before and concludes at 7 a.m. the day after, 48 hours total, due to our systems using GMT. While the celebration is active, it cannot be snoozed or ended. So basically, had I streamed at a different time, it would have... Cool. All right, well, that's fine. Whatever. It's fine. I'm excited to read with you. I've been eagerly awaiting to get back to this book. And after this, my plan... We have a couple of options. Not that we're about halfway through this. Another author that we have read from before just released another one of her works, and it is... She said it was like super emotional. So that's an option. I forget what it's called, but it's there. And then I was thinking about grabbing one of my Sherlock Holmes books and reading that, and I would let you guys vote on which one. Because who doesn't love a good Sherlock Holmes, you know? Quite right. Yes. Watson, pass me my cigar. But we got to finish this one first, because it's a good book. And we don't know who the killer is yet. So, with that in mind, where's the puzzle? Here it is. I have picked out a puzzle for you. There you go. That's the puzzle. Yes. And I made the word count the puzzle count a little bit higher than usual, since we'll be here just a touch longer than usual, all right? All right. All right, all right, all right. The other big news before I switch over to the reading scene is very important. It should not be understated. Catbox 86, has been so kind and generous with her time and talents that she has created for me a brand new Discord. So, if you feel like joining yet another Discord, completely up to you. There is a link down below. You can also do !Discord, and that will get you a link as well. Once we get back into reading Onyx Storm, that is where we'll probably continue it. That way we don't keep using up Stunt's Discord, and I can kind of gather everybody in there instead. Okay. You'll leave a different one, no biggie. Yeah. I mean, I think we've all done that. Let's not lie to ourselves. All right, let's check my tea. Splendid. Nutritious in every way. Okay, it's not nutritious at all, but it's delicious. All right. We are on... You're the third one in. Score. We are on chapter 31. Chapter 31 is on page 147. And it is Detective Wyatt Lockhart's perspective. So, without further ado, please sit back, relax, and I will read you a story. Donuts. Wyatt could smell them a mile away, so he could think of nothing else when the pink box passed his door. He sat back and stretched. He had been at it all night, and now it was morning and he was starving. One donut wouldn't hurt him, he argued with himself. He walked down the hall and snagged a pastry from the kitchen, choosing a chocolate-covered, cream-filled confection. The more sugar, the better, he thought. If he was going to splurge, he would make it count. He took a bite and sunk his teeth into the gooey goodness. Yeast and sugar attacked his senses. Almost immediately, he felt more alive than he had in hours. Instantly, his mood brightened. Rancic met him in the hall, and his light dimmed a little. Here's the latest report on the third victim pulled from the Cumberland. Seems she's an only child. Parents have been deceased for the past 5 years due to a car accident. No other living relatives. Wyatt took the folder, tucked it under his arm, and took another bite of his donut as he walked back to his office, cream oozing out the sides of his mouth, determined not to let the man ruin his sugar high. He tossed the folder on the desk and reached for a pile of leftover napkins from his midnight run to McDonald's. After shoveling the whole thing into his mouth, he wiped his mouth and sticky fingers with the napkins. He discarded them in the trash, pulled out his chair, and sat. Again. If he didn't solve these cases soon, he would have to forego the donuts and the late-night fast food runs. The stress, the junk food, and the lack of sleep were starting to catch up with his gut. He deliberately pushed the idea of a second donut out of his mind. He flipped the folder open and scanned the records. It was just like Rancic said. Not that he didn't believe him, but he just had to see it for himself. He was vaguely aware that Rancic hovered right inside his office door. "What?" Wyatt growled. Rancic shrugged. "I was just curious to see if you saw a pattern." "A pattern?" Wyatt lifted a bushy eyebrow. He quickly scanned through the report, specifically targeting the identifying marks. It was blank. He must be more tired than he thought. Was there something else he wasn't seeing? Or was the kid just being cocky? He'd play along. "Do you mean the one where all the women are all Caucasian? Or the one where they're all in their early 20s, college graduates and not from Nashville? Or the pattern of them all ending up in the Cumberland floating down the river until we drug them out? Which exactly are you referring to?" Wyatt grumbled. Rancic held up his hands. "Okay, so you are aware. The guy has a type. I was just trying to help." Wyatt sucked in a deep breath and relented. He knew there was no reason to be so irritated with Rancic. "I'm sorry. It's just been a long night. I need coffee." "Do you want me to make a fresh pot?" "No. I need to run out and get some. Get out of the office and take a short drive. Maybe then I can think clearer." Sounds like a good idea to me. Let me know if you need anything, like help on the Cumberland killer case." "Right," Wyatt said, irritated, grabbing his keys off the desk and walking down the hall. Once outside, the sunshine and the heat hit him. It was going to be another sultry day in Tennessee. He jumped in his car and went to the closest Dunkin'. He was going in when he thought of Kelly Morgan and his brief encounter with her just a few days ago. How quickly the tables had turned. Wyatt had been instantly drawn to her, an undeniable magnetism that gripped him from the moment they met. Even now, as he delved into the case of her missing daughter, his thoughts kept spiraling back to her. Her delicate features and those haunting hazel eyes stirred something deep within him, a fierce desire to protect and comfort. It was a feeling he rarely experienced to such depth, a primal urge to wrap her in his arms and shield her from the pain. The intensity of his longing unsettled him, leaving him wrestling with emotions he hadn't expected to confront. I keep yawning. I am so sorry. He couldn't imagine what Kelly was going through, especially since he had no children. It wasn't for lack of desire. His first marriage had shown him the strain his job as a police officer put on family life. His wife couldn't bear the thought of him getting hurt. And then it happened. Her worst fear came true. He was shot. After a week in the hospital and a month recovering at home, returning to work felt like one of his best and worst days. His colleagues welcomed him back with open arms, But while he was grateful, he was still sidelined, only able to push papers. When he came home expecting a comforting meal, a big hug, a how was your first day back kind of conversation, he found a note instead. His wife had left and taken everything. She couldn't fathom how he could go back to work after nearly dying. The daily fear was too much for her. That was the end of their marriage. Wyatt had dated on and off since, but none of those relationships lasted. He found women fascinating yet predictable, wanting security, a home, and children. He understood their desires, but knew that this job would always come first for him. Or at least, he thought so until the other day in the coffee shop. Until those hazel eyes met his. For the first time in over 30 years, he thought about something other than his job and what he would have for dinner. How could a woman do that, he wondered. How could she flip a switch in him and that had been dormant for decades and rip open a longing so deep that he wanted to retire tomorrow? That's power right there. He didn't know, but the moment he saw her standing in the precinct lobby, he knew he needed to find out. And then the inevitable happened. She was there for the disappearance of her daughter. Rexter, what's up, sir? You love that vest? Thank you. It is one of many. It's wonderful to see you. The moment was fleeting, and he had to put his feelings on the back burner. He had to concentrate on the case and finding her daughter. And that's what he vowed to do. He approached the counter and ordered as usual, wishing Kelly had been in line in front of him. He stepped aside. He could get her a refresher and take it to her and see how she was doing this morning. He quickly squashed the idea, nipping the thought before it could fester and morph into something more. He couldn't face her. Not yet, anyway. He needed something good to report. He needed to concentrate on the case, and when he had concrete evidence, he'd call her or stop by. Cope. Hello. Excuse me. Gosh. His name was called, and he retrieved his coffee from the counter, went back outside, and decided to swing by Cognac Creek. He had a series of crucial details to unravel, each one hopefully leading him closer to the truth. First, he needed to confirm whether she had shown up for work on Monday. Then he'd have to trace the hours she'd spent at the restaurant, piecing together who she interacted with and how the day unfolded. He needed to pinpoint when she left. Knowing that would make it easier to follow her progression. He needed to track down anyone who might have seen her go, or perhaps even been with her when she walked out the door. Once he had all the facts, confirming she had arrived, done her job, and left, he would need to answer one key question. Did she leave of her own free will? If so, perhaps there was a clue in how she departed. But if she hadn't gone willingly, that could just suggest something darker. In either case, someone must have seen something. I apologize. He just had to find out who. With a plan and an address, he got into the vehicle and tucked Kelly's pretty face into the recess of his mind. As he pulled out of the lot, he indeed hoped she would stay there, so he could do his job. He parked the car in the alley behind the refurbished old brick building, slid his sunglasses into place as he got out, and closed the door of his unmarked SUV. The sound of the door clicking shut was lost in the din of the nearby street traffic. He adjusted his jacket, the weight of the task ahead pressing on him. As he slowly turned in the back alley, his experienced eyes scanned the area. His gaze flicked to a corner near the loading dock. There, mounted high on the wall, was a security camera. Another one was positioned near the rear entrance. He made a mental note. He'd need to check the angle of the camera and the footage later, but for now, his focus shifted. He moved, making his way toward the front of the building, his mind already piecing together the questions he needed to ask. Depending on what door Ava had used, the security cameras outside the building could offer valuable insights. Wyatt walked into a bustling hive of activity. Slipped off his shades and let his eyes adjust to the dim interior as he scanned the restaurant. A teenager stood behind the hostess stand, dressed in jeans and a black Cognac Creek t-shirt. Her blonde hair was pulled back in a sleek ponytail, and a wad of gum sat in her cheek. "Can I help you?" she asked as she peered up at him under thick lashes. He smiled at her. "Yeah, I'm looking for Stella Doyle. Would she be available?" The hostess snapped her gum and raised her pierced eyebrow. "Let me check." She spoke into a headset. "Stella?" She paused, waiting for a response, watching him with curious blue eyes. "I got a silver fox at the hostess stand. Wants to talk to you." She formed a big pink bubble between her lips, stuck a finger in the middle before it could pop, and pulled the gum out into a long pink elastic string, wrapping it around her finger as she listened. "That's gross." She stuck the wad back in her mouth and smiled at him. "She'll be right down." "Thank you," Wyatt said. Silver fox? He wondered what that was code for. True to her word, Stella Doyle descended the sweeping staircase and pressed against the outside wall of the second floor. Stella's stride was purposeful, each step deliberate and powerful as her cowboy boots clicked steadily across the polished hardwood floor. Blech. Her gaze swept the room, and without a word, her servers parted for her. There was no mistaking it. Stella commanded the space, a force of nature who had earned every ounce of respect she obtained. Her outfit and hairstyle mirrored the teenagers, but that was where the similarities ended. There was a subtle maturity to her, with the fine lines around her eyes and mouth, and the knowing look behind the sharp, dark eyes that deliberately took him in. She gave him a reserved smile, and those fine lines creased slightly. "I'm Stella Doyle." She stuck out her hand. "Detective Lockhart, it's a pleasure to meet you," he said, accepting her hand. Wyatt pulled out his badge and a business card and handed the latter to her. "I would like to say the pleasure is all mine." She glanced at the badge and then the card. "But the jury is still out," she said coolly. "La bibliothèque, monsieur." He tucked his badge in his jacket pocket. "Is there somewhere we could speak privately?" She didn't hesitate. "Follow me." They wove through patrons and tables, following the maze back to her office. She opened the door and ushered him in. "Please." She indicated a wooden chair that matched the others on the restaurant floor. Wyatt sat, his practiced gaze sweeping over the small, meticulously arranged office. The space was tight, yet every detail seemed carefully considered, from the personal pictures on the wall to the ceramic boot with the Cognac Creek logo stamped on it holding her pens. The only furniture in the room consisted of the worn chair he occupied and a large, solid desk crafted from repurposed wood, its rustic charm complemented by the sleek, modern office chair that sat behind it. The space felt purposeful and unpretentious. His attention shifted to her. She moved with an effortless grace, circumnavigating the desk with poise. With a fluid motion, she settled into the chair across from him, her presence adding an air of calm authority to the room. Now, she folded her hands and placed her elbows on top of the desk. Why don't you tell me what brings you in? Well, I'm here about a new employee you just hired. You'll have to be more specific. I have recently hired several. It is the season for it, after all. He lifted a brow in question. Tourist season, she explained. I understand. He leveled his gaze. He leveled his gaze, wanting direct eye contact with her when he said Ava's name to judge her reaction. I'm here about Ava Morgan. He saw the flicker of recognition at the name, and then a smidgen of irritation as her forehead furrowed slightly between her eyes. She quickly smoothed out her features. What about her? Did you hire her? Yes. When did she start? Monday. Stella leaned forward. Listen, Officer Lockhart. A detective. He corrected. Detective. She smiled, trying to cover the annoyance he could feel festering within her. If there's something specific you want to know, just spit it out. I don't have time for your games. She pointed to the door. As you can see, we are very busy. When he didn't answer right away, she started to rise. You seem slightly annoyed at the mention of Miss Morgan. Why? Stella straightened. Because I go through the process of fishing through resumes and applications, interviewing, hiring, and training a new staff member, only to have them work one day and not show the next. You have no idea how frustrating that can be. It's especially annoying when it happens more than once. And with someone like Ava, it's a big loss. Care to explain? Ava had extensive experience and blended seamlessly with the other staff members. She was a good fit from the minute she walked through my door. A fast learner, polite, and capable of working independently with minimal instruction. Stella ticked off Ava's attributes. Not to mention, she had a natural talent for singing and the patience to wait tables, willing to pay her dues for the chance to perform on one of my stages. Or so she said. Wyatt could tell Stella was gearing up with plenty more to say, anger mounting. I stuck my neck out for her, even passed up a couple of other locals to wait for her after I received her job application. And then she works one day. Stella threw up her arms. Who does that? Why do you think she didn't come back? The hell if I know, she said, clearly frustrated. Probably found what she thought was a better gig. Did you try to contact her when she didn't show up on Tuesday? Oh, you're damn right I did. Stella shifted in her chair. Listen, I'm as human as the next person. I know things happen. People get sick, oversleep, cars break down, and maybe she bit off more than she could chew being far from home. But damn it, call and let me know. I'll work with anybody. I just need to be kept in the loop. That's all I ask. So she didn't say anything when she left for the night on Monday, indicating that she wouldn't be back? No. I was under the impression, and I think everyone else was too, that she had a good day. She was a great asset to the team. No one was more shocked than I was when she didn't show up Tuesday. I called and got a voicemail. I also texted her twice. That's my limit. I'll be damned if I have time to call around to all her contact numbers and track her down. She shifted her mouse and tapped the key on the computer, ready to dismiss him. I'm their boss, the bar manager, not their mother. It was time to level with Stella Doyle, Wyatt thought. She seemed genuine. What if I told you I think she's missing? Stella leaned back in her chair, the anger visibly deflating. She tapped her fingers on the arm of her chair, thinking, well, that I would believe, and it makes more sense. Her not showing for any other reason just doesn't fly with me. She was too invested, even after one day, too excited to be here to blow me off without a word. Wyatt leaned slightly closer, his tone shifting to reflect the seriousness of the matter. I'm currently investigating the disappearance of Ava Morgan. This is quite a serious situation, Miss Doyle. You or someone on your staff may have been the last person to speak to Ava. Wyatt let the gravity of the situation settle over the compact space. Do you know if she had words with anyone on staff? Stella shook her head. Like I said, she meshed well with the others, and believe me when I tell you, I have a pretty good pulse on my staff. What about an irate customer? Not that I'm aware of. Wyatt believed it. He ran through the other questions he had to cover his bases, then shifted gears. I'm assuming you have security cameras. We do, she replied. Hello, Allie. Pleasure to see you. How are you? Did you get this handsome just for me? Yup. You nailed it. Seeing right through me. I'll need to review your surveillance camera footage. The bar manager looked down at her computer, her expression shifting from routine focus to attentive engagement. A mix of concern and professionalism washed over her features. Her fingers danced over the keyboard, pulling up the relevant tab. I understand the gravity of this situation. Let me ensure you can have access to the footage you need. She paused, considering the logistics. Do you know what door Ava would have left from when she went home for the evening? He really did, he said so. See, yeah. Corgi can vouch for me. Stella tapped away. We have cameras at the front door, on every floor, and in the back alley. Most of our employees come and go through the back door. It's easy access to their lockers and to clock in and out. She tapped the keys again and then turned her monitor to angle it so he could see. But I know Ava came through the front door in the morning since she was new. All new employees do. She touched the screen with her index finger pointing. Here, that's her arriving on Monday. Scooting forward to get a better look, he said, Let it advance. Stella moved her mouse and clicked play. Wyatt watched Ava come through the front door, smiling and clearly happy to be there. This is exactly what I need. There was a tentative knock at the office door simultaneously as Wyatt's phone chimed. Stella paused the video. Come in. The blonde from the hostess stand poked her head in. Sorry, Stella. She cracked her gum and her eyes drifted to Wyatt. Didn't mean to interrupt, but we have a stitch. She hooked her thumb over her shoulder. Out front. I'll be right there. She stood. I'm sorry, Detective Lockhart. I'm Gonna have to excuse myself. Apparently, there's a situation. I understand. He glanced at his phone. Looks like I have one as well. Would it be possible for you to forward that video and a couple other angles to my email and the videos from the alley so I can go through it at my convenience? Of course. Thank you. My email is on my business card. Stella extended her hand. Consider it done, detective. I appreciate it. And please keep me in the loop. I did like Ava Morgan and would love to have her back. I sincerely hope everything is all right. Me too. That was chapter 31, folks. All right. Detective Lockhart is on the case. Fear not, folks. Ava's going to be the one to help bust this thing wide open. I can feel it. All right. Enjoy the puzzle. As in true fashion, it is time to race. And I thought, we haven't done any community ones yet. And you can sort it by the chances of elimination. So I made the 0% chance show up first. We've got simple snowing slide, mighty power chamber, fast rapid river, chill Malver stream, cool running, blah, 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 blah. Let's go with this one. Play. I hope it's good. I have no idea. All right. Exclamation point play to play. And then, whoa. All right then. While that 90 seconds is counting down, we have 18 minutes until ads, but I figured since we're between chapters.
Hi, Cat here. I'm just gonna sit in my box and watch the stream, if that's okay.
Definitely. I'm going to go ahead and run the 2 minutes of ads now, just so we can get those out. Done. And I will sip tea. Delicious. Oh boy. I hope everyone's had a lovely weekend so far. Took the kiddo to see Lilo and Stitch yesterday. It was pretty cute for a kid movie. All right. Who are we going to follow first? Who's it going to be? We'll follow the Korg. Wow. Whoa, that's a long way down. What? You have to have a kid to see that movie? No. Just like you don't have to be a kid to buy Trix cereal. If you're into that kind of thing. Uh-oh. Come on, Corgi. Push through. Whee! Silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids. Oh! Allie beat you by A fraction. A fraction. I always thought it was funny. What the hell's that movie called? Where the bear comes alive and talks. But there's like an extra scene that got taken out of the movie, and it's Liam Neeson. Ted, yeah. Liam Neeson goes to the checkout, and he's like, I understand that tricks are for kids. Am I allowed to buy these here? Yeah. Yep, you can. I won't forget what you did for me here today. No one's gonna follow me home, right? Nope. I don't think we have the budget for that. Nope. I won't forget you. Well, I kind of wish you did. Such a great little scene. Liam Neeson. That guy cracks me up. Alrighty. Chapter 32. Page 158. This is from Kelly Morgan's perspective. The distraught mother. Kelly turned over, squinting from the sun that shone through the blinds. Where was she? Then it hit her like a wave crashing down. The apartment. Nashville. It all came flooding back. Ava was missing. She sat up and listened. The room was quiet. She glanced at her phone. It was well past noon. How in the world had she slept so long? She hadn't slept much the last few days, and the stress of missing Ava and not knowing if she was all right was taking its toll. She threw back the covers and tiptoed to the bedroom door, peering into the living room. She wasn't sure what she had expected or hoped for, but it certainly wasn't this emptiness. She looked around and took in the small apartment. The soft blues of the couch, rug, and drapes made the room peaceful and relaxing. The sunny and modern space, the soothing decor, juxtaposing the storm of emotions inside her. She grabbed a mug from the small counter and placed it under the coffee maker. After inserting a K-cup, she waited patiently for the cup to fill. She wasn't sure what to do, where to go, or how to continue helping search for Ava. She felt useless, lost, and like a stranger in someone else's home. And that's truly what she was. Ava hadn't been here long enough to make the shared space hers. Kelly removed the steaming cup, took a tentative sip, and looked out the window, trying to decide her next move. The sun's warmth felt comforting as Kelly took a moment to breathe, trying to shake off the heaviness in her chest. One step at a time. First, she needed a shower. She set the coffee cup down and went to the bathroom, mentally preparing herself for the day ahead. As the water cascaded over her, she let her thoughts drift. Images of Ava flooded her mind. Laughter, shared secrets, and late-night talks that felt like a lifeline to her daughter she longed for. She scrubbed her hair, trying to focus, but the worry returned. Ava was missing, and every minute felt like a lifetime. Once dressed and feeling somewhat human, Kelly returned to the kitchen and made another cup, savoring the moment of normalcy amidst the chaos. As the second cup did its magic, she flipped through her phone, scrolling through messages, praying for a text from Ava. She searched the news articles, but there was nothing about her disappearance or the Cumberland killer. The thought of contacting Detective Lockhart again crossed her mind, but she hesitated. He was doing his best, but Kelly felt a nagging sense that she needed to take matters into her own hands. Maybe she could retrace Ava's steps. There had to be someone who might know something or have seen something. Kelly finished her coffee and grabbed her phone, deciding to text a few of Ava's friends from home. She needed leads, any hint of where Ava could be. After a few minutes, she received several responses, but nothing concrete. Frustrated, she tossed her phone onto the bed and took a deep breath. Okay, she whispered to herself. Think. Determined, she picked up her phone again and searched for information on Cognac Creek. This wasn't just about finding Ava anymore. It was about piecing together what was happening, and the bar was a crucial part of that puzzle. After all, this was possibly the last place she had been seen. She searched for Cognac Creek on social media and discovered it ranked among the top destinations with the best spots for dining and live music in Nashville, receiving rave reviews. Not a single negative comment could be found about the establishment. Kelly's stomach dropped. That was a dead end. But she didn't know where else to look or where to start. She certainly couldn't sit here all day. She would go crazy. She didn't want to be alone. Detective Lockhart came to mind. Being with him was the only place she felt comfort these past few days. She grabbed her bag and took a deep breath. Right or wrong, she needed to see him and feel his presence, his warmth and steady reassurance, even if it was from across the room. The thought of being with him made everything else seem distant, less real. She headed out the door in hopes he had the answers she needed. And that was the end of the chapter. Just a quickie. A couple of pages. I mean, who doesn't love a quickie? Let's see. Let's try Speedy Disco Track. Sounds like a fun one. All right, 90 seconds, starting meow. Oh wow, look at that. What is happening? Foolish. Not foolish to rate, though. Thank you so much. Purple, did you have something to do with this by chance? Thank you so much for rating. That was very kind. Hello. Maybe. Yeah. Ah, you were playing Dying Light. I haven't seen that game played in a while. How was it? Did you have a good time? Yes, I hope you are feeling better. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much. I am deeply honored. My name is the Bookfather. I am a reading streamer, voice actor. Two nights out of the week, I do the reading part, and then on Thursdays we play a game, something like American Truck Sim or Helldivers or something like that. And so it's a good time. It's a good time. So you've happened to catch me on a night that is all about the reading of the books. And yeah, we're in between chapters, so we're doing a marble race to have a little bit of fun as we continue through our book. I'm missing messages. Hold on. Much love. I appreciate it. Seriously. I'm going to drop you a follow so I can check it out. Yeah, it's good if you like zombie games. It's up there for sure. Yeah, I've seen a couple of my buddies play that game. It's definitely one of the more immersive think before you do kind of games that I've seen as far as zombies go. So it's not one I've played myself, but I'm a big component of multiplayer co-op kind of games. Hence ATS and Helldivers. Good times. Nando has one of the best laughs. He always brightens my day. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. It's got co-op. Oh, good. I didn't know that. Was that a... Where? Oh, that's the end. I was like, where are you? Is that a new thing? With all the... Yippee! Yippee! Wait.
Yippee!
There we go. Allie winning again. My goodness. Okay, folks, how did Purple redeem first place? Y'all have been here for a hot minute. Yep, probably hacks. You want to play? Well, I have to read another chapter first. Which just happens to be chapter 33. So we do a race, we read a chapter. We do a race, we read a chapter. We do a race, we read a chapter. We've also done it where we read a chapter and then do a race, and then we read a chapter and then do a race. So, you know, it really depends on the day. See what I did there? All right. I'll go back to my day job. Exclamation point wishes if you are curious about the book we are reading called Tennessee Wishes. Yeah. Definitely a dad. I sure is. No one else could claim him. He looks too much like me. Poor bastard. Chapter 33, Detective Wyatt Lockhart. It's from his perspective. Here we go. The car was found in the far corner of the parking garage, a block off Broadway. A lone security guard had stumbled upon it during his routine patrol, his eyes drawn to the missing license plates, a detail that seemed too deliberate to be overlooked. Well, that's interesting, because I see plates without cars? No. I see cars without plates pretty often. The front and back license plates had been hastily removed and discarded carelessly in a nearby trash bin, thrown away without a second thought. It wasn't much, but it was something that could be traced. The fact that someone had gone through the trouble of removing the plates likely to prevent the car from being linked quickly to Ava, yet hadn't bothered to take them far raised more questions than it answered. Why go through the effort at all? I have that same exact question that was tumbling through my brain as I was trying to read that, because why take them off if you're not going to take them with you? I mean, I'm assuming the VIN would pull up the registered owner, which would be Ava, but still. Just saying. Wyatt felt a chill run through him despite the heat as his mind raced, the unsettling thought taking shape. Was it possible Ava had left on her own? Yeah, right. The idea lingered, gnawing at him. Had she vanished willingly, driven by something he couldn't see? Something she hadn't shared? The car, hidden away in a quiet corner, seemed to tell a story of someone trying to disappear. Quietly. Carefully. But why? He had just seen a happy woman entering Cognac Creek on video. What would have pushed her to leave? He couldn't shake the feeling that something was off, that this wasn't just a case of someone walking away. Whatever the truth, the missing plates were just the beginning. Had they been interpreted on the verge of... Interpreted? Good God. I swear I can read, folks, okay? I can. Just sometimes the letters and the words, and it doesn't quite happen. Had they been interrupted, on the verge of getting caught, forcing them to dispose of the plates in the first available spot? Gotta find food? Do it. Sometimes words are hard. I know. English language. I get it, but you're doing good. 10 out of 10. Oh, well. Thank you. You're too kind. Or was it a calculated move? A careless mistake, or perhaps a sign of desperation, something meant to simply slow them down while trying to find her? The thought gnawed at him. Wyatt sat in the driver's seat and looked around. The glove compartment was open, and its contents had been meticulously removed. No papers, receipts, or hints of anything that might connect the vehicle to Ava. Oh, by the way, for our new friends that just came in, exclamation point puzzle will get you a link to the community puzzle that you can see in the corner. Exclamation point RPG will get you to the fun little game that's currently below my face as an empty box. So yeah, do enjoy, if you feel like doing any of those. Wyatt's fingers brushed over the smooth surface of the steering wheel, his mind racing. The car had been empty and wiped clean. Every inch of it had been scoured as though someone had been determined to erase all evidence of its owner. Except the air inside. It smelled of sunshine and flowers, much like the image of Ava he had formed in his mind. However, anything of substance tied to Ava was gone. He ran a hand... Hello. He ran a hand over his polished head and hit the visor. The car was small, and he was a big man, so there wasn't much headroom. Without thinking, he flipped down the visor and raised the lid on the mirror. Much to his surprise, a small photo was tucked into the corner of the mirror. He felt like he had hit the jackpot when he saw Ava's face peering back at him from the center of the photo. Whoever had cleared out the car had no idea the photo was there, or thought to look. Wait, heal, is that a command? Or are you just hoping? Is that a real thing? Because my goodness, I could use that. I'm guessing not, because you did. That'd be amazing, though. Heal. It throws a potion? Oh. Okay. I'll have to keep that in mind. Instinctively, he tucked the photo into his jacket, shielding it from prying eyes, and exited the car. Whoever wiped the car clean missed a spot, Rancic said, approaching Wyatt from behind. The forensic team lifted several usable prints. Good. Wyatt did a slow 180, letting his mind absorb his surroundings and the information. They were thorough in discarding things like receipts, wrappers, and personal items, Rancic said, thinking aloud. But why leave the plates behind? Wyatt shrugged. Maybe they thought the trash would come before the vehicle was found. Well, that's possible, but why haven't they found anything else? Maybe Ava Morgan just kept her car clean, and there wasn't anything to dispose of. They've been combing through the trash, and the plates are the only solid evidence we have so far. Wyatt answered, thinking aloud. There was a steady beep as the tow truck backed in. Looks like it's ready to be towed. I'm going to head back into the office. You coming? Rancic asked as he watched the tow truck driver get out to secure the car. I'll be a few more minutes. Want to check a couple of things before I head in. Suit yourself, Rancic said, going to his vehicle. Wyatt walked away from the scene. With his back to the forensic team, he pulled out the photo again and scrutinized it. 2 women posing for the photo, standing at the edge of a pristine, glassy bottle of water, smiling and carefree. He recognized Ava. She had her mother's eyes and wondered who the other young woman was. Oh, I think I know who this is. Justin Raji. What's up, sir? How are you? I think is it Molly who's her friend? I think. Oh, by the way, my squished face is floating around on screen because I installed a DVD player scene. If you scroll down in the About section, you should see an option to join, and your head too could be floating around on screen, if you wish. His fingers tightened around the photo. He couldn't... Oh, thank you. I was like, what? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. He couldn't shake the thought of Ava near another far more dangerous body of water, the Cumberland River, where a killer used its depths to swallow his victims whole. A killer who might be watching, waiting for the next moment, the next victim to feel its murky bottom and lodge in its jagged banks. Dun, dun, dun. I want to say, yeah, I think there's like a little break in the story here. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I forgot to follow. Oh, no. Don't, please. You know, never have to apologize. Just because Purple said to raid me does not mean that you have to do anything. You could have even ignored her and been like, psh, no. What are we joining? You see all those heads bopping around? That's a DVD screensaver. If you scroll down in the About section, you will see an option to join. It's a club. But yes, I think there's a little break in the story here. There's a very faint guitar printed on the page, and usually that signifies a break. Time moving on, changing of scenes, that kind of thing. So, I shall continue. Wyatt became increasingly disheartened at the office while scrolling through Ava Morgan's social media account. Ava had posted almost religiously twice a day, sometimes more. With that track record, she was well overdue. She had over 5,000 followers. Her posts ranged from inspiring quotes, clips of songs she was singing, food she ate, recipes she tried, and failures and successes. She was funny, she was entertaining, and she was popular. She was also easy to track. One of the last things she posted was outside the apartment building. She was standing in front of her car with a huge smile. He touched play to watch the video. Here I am, she said with a laugh, ready to start my new adventure in Nashville. She glanced over her shoulder, still holding the cell phone. Kara, she called. Come get in my video. Hey, girl. The phone turned slightly to capture the other woman, who laughed and raised her hand to cover her face. No paparazzi. She giggled and ducked out of frame. Well, that's Kara, my new roommate. Ava laughed. She's a little camera shy, but I'll wear her down. I promise you'll see her again soon. Ava started walking backward closer to her car. Wyatt paused the clip and took a screenshot of the image, then continued. Once again, Ava's bright, cheerful voice filled his office, instantly lifting the mood like a burst of sunshine. Wish me luck, she called out, her excitement practically bubbling over. Today's the first day of the rest of my life. Here's to all my dreams coming true. Her energy was contagious, radiating through the screen. And my wish for you? May your day be absolutely amazing, and may you chase your dreams with all the passion in the world. Never let anyone dim your light, she exclaimed, her enthusiasm practically glowing. As she signed off with a quick wave, her infectious smile was like a burst of fresh air, leaving him feeling lighter, brighter, and completely uplifted. At the video's end, he lingered on the image of her waving goodbye. A pang went through him. He mentally shook himself and turned to the comments, scrolling through what had quickly amassed in the wake of her post. There were well over 500 comments, a testament to Ava's popularity and the genuine connection she had cultivated with her followers. Wyatt took his time, carefully reading through each one, a smile creeping onto his face as he absorbed the myriad of responses. Good luck, Ava, you got this, cheered one follower. Another chimed in with a playful, can't wait to see what you've got in store. Each comment reflected the warmth and encouragement that Ava inspired, and Wyatt felt a swell of pride for this girl he didn't know, knowing she touched so many lives. The comments vividly depicted her impact, a community built around shared experiences, encouragement, and mutual support. Each one reaffirmed the importance of her voice and her positivity. As Wyatt finished reading, he felt a renewed sense of urgency. This was not a woman who would voluntarily disappear without so much as a word to her mother. He watched the video again, noting that Ava had tagged her roommate. This time, he paused the video and screenshot the roommate's image. Following the tag led to Kara's profile, which was almost non-existent compared to Ava's. Wyatt's phone rang. Hello, he said distractedly, still studying Kara McRae's face. I have a Mrs. Morgan here to see you. Wyatt sat up a little straighter. I'll be right out. In a matter of minutes, Wyatt had Kelly in the conference room. If I had left that sentence there and never touched it again, that could have taken a different turn. This is not that kind of story, though. Please, he indicated to a chair. Have a seat. Thank you, Kelly said politely and perched on the edge of the chair. I'm sorry, she said, looking around nervously. I know you're busy. Nonsense, it's fine. Wyatt moved around the table and sat his body instinctively, putting some space between them. But it wasn't enough. Seeing her again, her quiet beauty, the raw, fragile emotions she wore so openly shook him to his core. It stirred something deep inside him, a fierce, protective instinct he couldn't ignore. He wanted to shield her, keep her safe from whatever hurt she was carrying. He cleared his throat, trying to steady himself. Now, what can I do for you? He asked, his voice softer than he intended, the weight of his feelings impossible to mask. But if she noticed, she didn't respond. Instead, Kelly had her eyes downcast, studying her hands. You ever seen The Quarry? I think we'll start. Ooh, The Quarry is a good one. Yeah. Stunts played that one, and I've seen quite a few people play it actually. It's one of them good turn by turn based situations. Wyatt got up from his chair, circled, and settled onto the corner of the table. He couldn't stay away from her. What is it? What's on your mind? I'm scared I'm going to kill everyone. I mean, that's what I would do, though, because I'm sick like that. Do you think Ava's friend Molly Calhoun could know where she is? He didn't answer directly. That's kind of hard to do, actually. Well, damn. I only want to do it for science, though, okay? Don't go calling the popo. He didn't answer directly. It was a name he was unfamiliar with. Care to explain? Platt did it? Really? Huh. Not surprised. Kelly held his gaze. She's one of the reasons Ava took the job at Cognac Creek and came here to Nashville. Are you asking me if I think Molly is involved? He decided not to answer the question just yet. I have a photo I'd like you to look at. I'll be right back. He quickly went across the hall, retrieved what he needed, and was back. He pulled out the 4x6 image he found in Ava's car. Do you recognize this woman? Of course I do. This is Ava's friend, Molly. Kelly tapped her index finger on the photo. Do you know when this photo was taken? Just a few weeks ago. Where did you get that picture? Kelly asked, breaking into Wyatt's thoughts. He cleared his throat. We found Ava's car today. Kelly's breath caught. Where? In a parking garage a block off Broadway. We are now checking security footage to see when the vehicle entered the garage. The good news is we have a time frame to work with, and there wasn't any sign of foul play in or around her car. My team was also able to lift a few prints off the vehicle. It may take a few days, sometimes longer, to get the report back and know if any matches are found. He pulled out 5 AI-generated photos created from the deceased's images, hoping to find a link, a match to identify them. Do you know any of these women? He spread the photos out on the table. Take your time. She scanned each one. No, I'm sorry. I don't know any of them. Why does it matter? Kelly asked. The names of the victims hadn't been released to the press yet, as protocol dictated that the next of kin must be notified first. His role as an officer, governed by strict procedure, told him that divulging any information before the proper channels were followed could hinder the investigation. The need to respect the system and adhere to the rules that kept the process running smoothly pulled him in one direction. But then there was her face. 'Cause then he saw her face. Pale, worried, her eyes pleading for anything that could comfort her. She needed answers, and his heart ached to see her so vulnerable, her every word steeped in fear and confusion. He knew she wasn't ready for the whole truth. Not yet. His instincts told him that breaking the news or his fear too soon would only cause more pain, more shock. He wanted to protect her from that, to shield her from the rawness of the situation, even though his duty was to give her the facts. His protective instincts, his desire to make her feel safe, even for a moment, pulled him in the other direction. Now I'm a believer. He inhaled deeply, weighing the consequences. Honesty. He could tell her enough to let her know the situation was serious, but not enough to crush her spirit. Or he could be strict, play it by the book, and risk alienating her, leaving her in the dark longer than necessary. The rules said to wait. The procedures were clear, but his heart told him that sometimes there were moments when rules should bend. He got up, closed the door, and came back and sat beside her. What I'm about to tell you can't leave this room. Kelly sat a little straighter. I'm listening. He hesitated, weighing his words carefully, the gravity of the situation pressing on him. These women, he indicated. The photos are connected to another case I'm investigating, and I was looking for a possible link to Ava's disappearance. Her breath caught in her throat. How? He leaned forward, eyes intense, filled with urgency. His gut said that Ava was another victim of the Cumberland killer, and his gut was seldom wrong. He just didn't know how or when he would prove it right. I can't give you all the details yet, but I have every reason to believe Ava is in grave danger. And time is running out. Dun, 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 dun. Commercial, end scene. See you next week for the next episode. 1 week goes by. Previously on Tennessee Wishes. Is that Ava's car? Why would there be a photograph? Where is my daughter? I can't do this anymore. Where am I? She's in grave danger. Nailed it. This is why you gotta have me on TV. Wait. Applause. Thank you.
Honk, noise, 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 honk.
Yep. Next race is ready. Friendly Boost Marble Topia. 90 seconds on the clock. I was about to say, oh, Gemma's here. I think she's still streaming. Let me check. Because I was lurking. Yep, she's still streaming. She's playing Hogwarts Legacy. Yes, indeed. How's everybody doing? Everyone okay? Having a lovely evening? I hope so. Good, and you? I'm doing quite well. I'm going to burn this puzzle. Well, thank God it's electronic. And you can't. Thanks to my good friend Stun Papa, I was able to check out a woodcraft store today. And so I went in there, talked to the couple of guys that were working, you know, talk shop for a few minutes about different things. Picked up a handy little tool or attachment for my router tool that I can use to help, you know, make it more sturdy when I'm using that on pieces. So yeah, it was good. Whoa. I spoke to the other guys about their wood. I did. And it wasn't a hard conversation to have. Man, I make a good cup of tea. So it's good to get a second opinion. Absolutely. Well, there were two of them working, so I mean, in actuality, I got two sets of opinions. And they both said I would do better if I had two hands to be able to use instead of just the one. So they all agreed. They both agreed. Using two hands is the preferred way to go. Lyric's getting some foods? Yes, go get the foods. Super. What up, man? I find that wood is much smoother when I use two hands as well. See? Cat knows. Marcher, what's up, dude? Blah, wood. Alley. Barbecue ribs from a local place. Ooh, nice. Whoa. Jump, jump, jump. Give me a polished floor any day. Tile.
Okay, let's go.
I mean, man, you guys really chained together. While we're here, let's do some more shout outs. It's been a while since I've seen some really nice wood. I get it.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Boom.
Boom. There we go. That's all you needed. Boom. Yeah, never mind. I did it. Get over it. And once Kat starts streaming again, we'll be able to shout her out more often. You can still go follow her, though. That way, when she does stream, you'll be ready. All right. Break's over. Oh, I was wondering when we were going to talk to this guy. Chapter 34 is Owen Lane's perspective. We've had quite a few chapters now where Owen's been kind of out of the picture. It's his turn for the spotlight. And for those of you that don't know, Mel's here. Hi, Mel, our author of this wonderful story. Twitch was supposed to make today my streamiversary. It's technically in 2 days, but I told it to make tonight like the celebration stream for it. It didn't save. It reverted itself back to the 17th. So that's cool. I won't be here on the 17th, even though that's a Tuesday, because I will be out of town, which is why we're here now, going a little bit longer than usual. So, yeah, there you go. So, that's my word, and I'm sticking to it. Also, Catbox was super kind and made me my very own Discord, which I haven't had for like 3 years now. So, !Discord, or there's a link down below if you feel like being in another Discord. And if not, it's okay. I have to be there because I'm obligated. All right. Chapter 34. Page 169. Here we go. Owen and Toby walked the streets of downtown Nashville, weaving their way through pedestrians toward Cognac Creek with Gunner at their heels. You don't have to be there, I could kick you if you want. That's true, you do own it. Cat owns it, I am her bitch. Gunner was accustomed to the city's sights, smells, and sounds, so he trotted beside Owen with little fanfare. But the usual trek that excited Owen felt mundane. Any other day, any other time, he would be thrilled he was headed into Cognac Creek. Not to bartend, but to perform. And not on the regular stage, but at the top paying level. But tonight, knowing that Ava was out, somewhere lost, missing, probably hurt, or maybe... No. He couldn't complete that thought. He wouldn't survive if he thought that was true. He wouldn't even allow his mind to go there. Those thoughts caught him without the usual enthusiasm he typically had or needed for a performance. "How you feeling?" Toby asked as they paused at the red light. Owen didn't answer. Instead, waited for the light to turn green. Stepping off the curb, he said, "I don't know, man." "Oh, can we... That's what I forget. Can somebody please do a shout out for my buddy, Mr. Marcher, Mr. Night Marcher?" Thank you. I would like to see if we can get a clip of him doing the unwritten role play. You know, the ones where he pretends to be somebody else. Or perhaps he pretends to be himself, and the person we see is the somebody else. I don't know. It's all a bit confusing to me. Let's find out.
Why'd you blind us on this island, Ryan? There's a cobra. There's a cobra. Right on your leash coming towards you, bro.
Okay, that wasn't unwritten roleplay, but it was still hilarious. Okay. Stepping off the curb, he said, "I don't know, man. Talk to me." Owen sidestepped a chalkboard sign depicting the buy one, get one sale at the boot barn. "Do you remember the week leading up to Dylan's death? How I couldn't shake this terrible feeling deep in my gut?" Toby nodded as they stopped short of the back entrance to the bar. "I do. Well, I have it again, and it won't go away. Did you sleep at all last night? I heard you prowling around at all hours." Owen visibly sagged against the back door, his hand on the knob. Not much. I kept replaying the walk to the car. How excited Ava was, enthusiastic and happy. He left out that they kissed. That part was way too special. It was a moment between the two of them, and he wouldn't kiss and tell. "I didn't speak with her long, but had that same impression. Someone that excited wouldn't just walk away without a reason." Owen shook his head in frustration. Because if she did have a reason, did that mean he had meant nothing to her? Those intimate moments they shared, snuggled in the booth or pressed against her car, meant nothing? He replayed their conversations in his mind, the laughter and the connection that felt both exhilarating and terrifying. It was as if he had known Ava all of his life, not just a few days. She consumed his thoughts. Her smile was the first thing that greeted him in the morning and the last thing that lingered in his mind as he drifted off to sleep. How could someone he had just met leave such a profound mark on him? She was a force of nature, unlike anything or anyone he'd ever encountered. Every little glance, every laugh pulled at his heartstrings with an intensity that left him both intrigued and slightly off balance. No one had ever touched him so deeply, unraveling him in ways he had never thought possible. He was falling, tumbling headfirst into an abyss of feelings, and he was terrified, yet utterly captivated. And now she was missing. He felt helpless because there was nothing he could do for Ava. Disheartened, he realized he was right back to where he'd been a week ago, before her. Visibly shaking himself, he turned the knob. I guess we better go in. We'll figure it out, man. Give yourself a break. Let's go do what we love. They walked through the door and straight to the elevators which led to the rooftop, with Gunnar leading the way. The German Shepherd took his place at the edge of the stage, the lights dimming slightly around Owen and the others as the atmosphere buzzed with anticipation. He nodded to the band members, their camaraderie evident in the easy banter exchanged as they moved about the stage. Each member had their routine. Some adjusted their instruments, while others chatted adamantly about the last gig or the latest song they'd been working on. The sound engineer, perched at the back, signaled for a moment of silence, and the band stowed their gear with practiced efficiency, laying out cables and checking their setups. The faint hum of the crowd settled over them. Hum. After a few warm-up notes filled the air, a blend of chords and rhythms that melded into a cohesive sound, they exchanged glances of approval. Owen strummed a few riffs, testing the resonance of his guitar, while Toby tapped out a steady beat on the snare, ensuring that the tempo felt right. As the final adjustments were made, the band members gathered for a quick huddle, sharing a laugh and a last-minute pep talk. Decent crowd tonight, Toby said, his eyes scanning the room. He twirled a drumstick between his fingers. Maybe we can double it if you yahoos can keep up with me. We can keep the beat if you was... We can keep the beat. It's you who has a hard time finding it, the bass player said, raising Toby's back. You're so busy checking out the girls that are walking by, you can't keep the beat of the girl. Wait, I got a joke. What do you call a drummer who doesn't have a girlfriend? The keyboard player asked. Toby, the bass player answered with a widespread grin. Screw you, Toby retorted. Everyone knows the drummers get all the hot chicks. Drummer. Yeah? Where's yours? I can't be tied down to just one, Toby replied with a flip of his stick. You'd be lucky to get a cold one, let alone a hot one. All right, Owen said, trying to rein them in. If you old biddies are done, let's blow the roof off this joint. With a collective nod, they signaled to the sound engineer to begin. The lights came up slightly brighter, and the first notes echoed through the venue, marking the transition from preparation to performance. You love onions? Okay. Good. Great. Is there a reason you're telling us you love onions? Just curious what the connection might be. We did barbecue for dinner and grilled. Oh, gotcha. Because they were talking about drummers, and then you said, I love onions. So I was like, huh? I just wanted to express my love for them. Okay, yeah. Psh, go for it. You know? caramelized, fried, sauteed. I mean, you do your thing. You do your thing. Owen could feel the backbeat of the drums vibrate in his chest, a steady rhythm that resonated deep within. Each thump that reverberated through the wooden stage beneath his feet was like a heartbeat, grounding him in the moment and syncing him with the band's energy. He took a deep breath, inhaling the familiar scent of fermented beer, burgers, and warm electronics, a mixture that always filled him with a sense of belonging. Thank you for letting me be me. Absolutely. You be you. As he lifted his steel guitar, the cool metal felt reassuring against his fingertips. He plucked the strings, and the wail of his guitar sliced through the air, a melody that lifted his spirit with every chord. The sound swirled around him, a powerful reminder of why he loved to perform, why he was here. He turned and saw the band was locked into the moment. Owen closed his eyes, letting the music wash over him. He could picture the crowd, faces turned toward him and the band. He opened his eyes, feeling the instant connection with the audience, an invisible thread that tied them together. Then, he started to sing. His voice was rich and full of emotion as Ava's pretty face filled his thoughts. In the recesses, she wouldn't stay, but he decided that it was okay if she surfaced. She made him feel. He poured out that feeling through every note, every word, intertwining with the melody. Each note felt like a story unfolding, a piece of his heart laid bare. The lyrics flowed easily. As he sang, he could see the audience leaning in, caught in the spell of the music. Toby hammered on the drums behind him, driving the rhythm forward, while the bass provided a solid foundation, allowing him to soar on his guitar. In that moment, surrounded by the vibrant sounds of the band and the energy of the crowd, Owen felt truly alive and inwardly prayed that Ava was too. And that's the end of the chapter. I'm blanking all of a sudden on what chapter we started on. Was it 31? Yeah, it was 31. I usually put that in the title, that way it's easier for me to load it to YouTube. So I just need to add that real quick so I don't forget. Pretty sure every book starts at chapter 1. Actually, you would be incorrect, sir. Sir Smartass. Some books start with a pre. Let's see, did this one have it? No. You know, some books have prologues and stuff like that you have to read first so that chapter 1 makes sense. Smartass. Such a smartass.
I was reading my book and they took away my bookmark and I said no, I need my bookmark because then I would not know what page I was on and so I went to HR and they said that I have to talk to my manager if I want the bookmark. So they said I could use a company bookmark, but it's not my bookmark. It's mine is bigger. It's a Swinline bookmark, and because that's my bookmark, I can find the page in my book. You see, and so they took it from me, and now I don't have a bookmark, so I know I'm going to lose my page, and then I'm just going to burn the place to the ground because they took my bookmark, and I haven't been paid in 2 months, and my stapler they took my, and I told them if I could. I needed to listen to my music, and they said I could listen to my music at a reasonable volume, and I am doing that. So, I will not turn it down. It's not fair. I need my bookmark, and I use a Swin line. It's good, you see, because you can find the page with it. So if you see it, please. Thank you. You gotta love Stephen Root. What a guy.
Let's do another marble race. Ooh, marble downhill? That looks like a good one. Sounds like a good one. Join.
Yes, well, I use a Swinline stapler, and someone took my stapler, and now I have a company stapler that is black, but it's not my stapler, and I told them I went to HR, and I told them I need my stapler, and they said that I had to use their stapler, but it is not a Swinline stapler.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my stapler, and
Okay,
and
Melvin.
So I told them I had not been paid in 2 months, and they told me that I should talk to my manager, but he said that
that's
I
nice.
should talk to HR, but they said everything looked okay, and they wouldn't give me my stapler back, and someone had complained about my music, but they said I could have my music as long as it was a reasonable volume, and I believe it is, and I will not
Okay.
turn off my radio, but I do want my stapler back, because the other stapler it jams, and my Swinline does not, and the staples they're sharp when you try to pull them out, because
Yeah.
when they jam and you have to pick them out with your fingers. I have cut my finger so many times, and I told HR, but they won't do anything about it. They said I had to use a company stapler, but
Right.
my stapler is a Swinline stapler, and I don't know where my stapler is. Someone took it.
Well, there you go. Get that man a Swin line before he has a hernia. Well, you know what they say about this race. It's all downhill from here. Because it's a downhill race. Get it? Whee! Not sure what these glowing beams of golf ball lights are, but, you know, it's fine. Well, Corgi's getting away. Cat's about to take over in second place. Oh, there it is. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Corgi taking the win. Second place stolen from Super's grasp by a cat in a box. Well done. And I came in last because I wanted you guys to win. That's why. Ooh. Okay. Folks, Chapter 35 is like 2 pages, but it's Ava Morgan's chapter. We haven't heard from her since the abduction, since she was kidnapped, taken. So this should be at least a tease of an insight. And then after this chapter, I will start the next round of ads because there's about 10 minutes until those start. So here we go. Chapter 35, Ava Morgan. Ava woke disoriented and trembling, her heart pounding, her head spinning. The darkness slowly shifted around her. Sensations returned, slow at first. The air felt thick and suffocating as she leaned forward. A thin layer of white dust covered her skin, making her itch and hard to breathe. Panic clawed at her throat when she realized she could only move so far. Her hands were bound behind her back, the cool metal of a pole between her shoulder blades. Her entire body tingled. She shifted to regain feeling in her legs and arms, her eyes trying to adjust. The remnants of words echoed in her mind, and she wasn't sure if it was reality associated with this nightmare or her mind playing tricks on her. But the voice was etched into her subconsciousness. The sing-song rhythm ran through her head. Are you sinking? Are you sinking? Where did that come from? She shook her head to help clear the fog and rid her mind of the words, but the haunting melody wouldn't stop. She shifted when she heard voices. She called out into the eerie darkness, her words echoing throughout the dark space, the sound playing tricks on her. She'd have to be louder if she wanted to be heard. The thought crept through her mind like a rat scurrying in the dark. Did she want to be heard? What if who was out there was worse than being in here alone? What would they do to her if they heard her calling for help? What would become of her if no one came? Both thoughts twisted and turned in her mind, leaving her reeling and feeling desperate. The need to be found outweighed her desire not to. Without warning, a blood-curdling scream tore from her throat. And then there was a break in the story. The automated voice droned on in a monotone, buzzing in his ear as he punched in the digits. His ears perked. He stopped what he was doing, stood still, and listened. A sly grin etched his face, creasing lines so deep his face could pass as a mask at Halloween. Number 7 was awake. It was like music to his ears, her screams ringing out into the building's vast blackness and dying out into the ebony void. He could go to her, shake her senseless until she shut up, tell her screaming was futile, but he didn't. Instead, he let her cry out like his mama used to let him. She never told him to shush. She let him scream until he was spent, humming the old nursery rhyme. But he liked his version better. The melody was already forming in his mind, the lyrics transforming into the following lines. Are you screaming? Are you screaming? He hummed. Evelyn, Evelyn, I am cunning. Your time is coming. Splish, splash, splosh. And that's the end of chapter 35. Oh boy. I'm going to start up another race, and then I'm going to start the ads to get them out of the way. Whoa, what in the world is this? Oh, we are over here. I was like, I couldn't tell if that way down there was the finish or the start, but we're starting right here. Starting the ads. Did my little rhyme sound creepy at all, by chance? I hope so. Very? Oh, good. Yes, it was creepy. Excellent. Nightmare worthy. Oh, stop it. You flatter me. You flatter me. Yeah, how about you don't do that again? No. If it's in the book, I got to do it. Okay? I may not play scary games, but I could be a scary game. Would you like to play a game? Hmm? I'd play with you? Wow. Okay. Rhino, what's up, man? I would play you so hard. I mean, you game. I mean, together. Wow, super. You quit while you're behind. That's all I can say. Oh, brother. What? Oh, blockage. Clean the arteries. Man, I can't believe it's been 4 years since I got my affiliation with Twitch. I mean, technically it's 2 days from now, but still. Like, holy cow. Dang. That's just nuts. Nuts indeed. We know how we feel about nuts. Congrats. Where's the time gone? Seriously, I have no idea. I'm just really ticked off at Twitch because I told them that today was going to be my, like, celebration stream. And it didn't save the dates. It reverted it back to the 17th. So I'm a little PO'd. But it's fine. I'm not that kind of guy that's gonna go all hoopla and get balloons and write stuff down and put stickers on my face and all that stuff. It's just not my style. Did it have anything to do with the day where Twitch went wonky? You know, it very well could have. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Yeah, because I did change it. I changed it twice just to be sure. And so, yeah, I would not be surprised if it just didn't actually save it because Twitch had a frickin' heart attack. The 17th is my 30th anniversary. Wow, congratulations. 30. Woo. I mean, no one likes a show off, but good job. Good job. That's amazing. All right. I'm going to read chapter 36. And then as the next race is getting ready, I'm going to run to the bathroom. And by run, I mean walk. I can't even commit to one of my own personalities for that long. Wow. You should have a chat with your personalities and get it together. You've hit your limit. No worries, Kay. Have a wonderful night. Thanks for being here. It's lovely to see you. Chapter 36. This is Detective Wyatt Lockhart's perspective. We aren't on speaking terms right now. Damn. That's a bummer. Shoot. All right, here we go. Wyatt tucked Kelly away in the conference room with a sandwich and a Coke and promised to return for her shortly. The air in his office was tense as he reviewed footage from the Monday morning security cameras sent by the parking garage off Broadway and Stella Doyle from Cognac Creek. He decided to start with the parking garage and follow what he could of Ava's day. The Chevy Malibu came into view right at 8, its familiar shape gliding down the street and turning into the parking lot. A lone individual could be seen in the car entering the garage. When the car stopped for the ticket in order to proceed up the ramp, it was evident Ava was the driver. Once she turned the corner, she drove out of range of the camera. He switched to another feed to follow her further up the ramp. It didn't take long before the car disappeared around yet another corner. He assumed it had parked in a dead zone of the garage, a spot out of camera range. On purpose or by chance, he wasn't sure. He watched for a while longer, but Ava did not appear back in the frame. He could only assume that she didn't come out of the front entrance, but used the exit toward Broadway. He then switched to the footage that Stella Doyle had sent. Wyatt leaned in close, anticipating Ava's arrival outside the bar, waiting to be let in. He pulled up multiple angles and let it play. Taking a bite of his sandwich, he watched Ava's movements, following her throughout the space, which were normal and remarkable as the day unfolded. When she interacted with someone new, he paused the video and zoomed in. He made a list of the other employees and noted their names when he could read their name tags. Customers were usually in groups and a lot less easy to identify, so he simply looked for anything out of the ordinary. Late in the day, a specific customer caught his eye. It's probably the one that was all, grabby with her. He wore a black Stetson pulled low over his head, shielding most of his face. He had on jeans and a black nondescript t-shirt. Nothing about his appearance raised any alarms. Or not exactly. There was just something in how he moved, something too deliberate and smooth. As Wyatt sifted through the footage, a creeping sense of unease began to settle in. An hour passed on the film, but the man never approached Ava, just continued to nurse a beer. Yeah, no worries. Enjoy the lurk. Enjoy the cuddles. But every time she came into frame, his head turned slightly. To most, it would seem natural if they weren't paying attention. But Wyatt was. His senses were on high alert. 2 hours after his arrival, the man slipped out of the booth and casually zigzagged across the room. At the same time, Ava appeared on the other side of the frame, as if a magnet pulling them, an unseen force dragging them toward one another. As if an author had written the perfect interaction, the ideal meet cute, they bumped into each other right on cue. Very funny, Mel. Well done. Wyatt's heart raced as he watched the scene unfold. At first, on the surface, it looked like friendly banter, an unavoidable accident. But the minute the man's hand snaked out, Wyatt saw Ava's expression shift. The tide had turned. It was no longer friendly or coincidental. Wyatt glanced out the door across the hall at Kelly. She was still in the same spot he'd left her, sandwich untouched. Something isn't right from the moment he walks into the bar, Wyatt muttered, scanning the footage again, his instincts prickling. Ava made the incident inconsequential, but the damage was done. Whatever the man said seemed to make Ava pause. The unease settled deeper as Wyatt considered the implications. He watched the rest of the evening play out on the screen. It was like watching an old-fashioned movie, silent and grainy as the lights dimmed. Amid the chaos, Wyatt eventually lost sight of the man in the cowboy hat. He rewound the video again and again, but each time he hit a dead end. It was as if the man had simply evaporated into thin air. The rest of her shift had been uneventful, but Wyatt couldn't shake the nagging feeling that something was off. He noticed she spent an unusually long time in the back, where the employee lockers were. Something that didn't sit right with him. He almost missed her when she reappeared some 20 minutes later in a long green sundress. His gaze snapped up, locking onto her with a force that stole the breath from his lungs. Was she meeting someone? The question lingered in the air, heavy and charged, as he watched her cross the expanse of the restaurant, leaving through the same door she had entered some 10 hours earlier. Once back out on the street, the teeming crowd swallowed her whole. Cognac Creek, her last known place. Wyatt took a deep breath, trying to steady his racing thoughts. He needed more footage from the parking garage. He had a time frame now. Maybe the main camera had caught her ducking into the garage for a minute or two to put her backpack in the car. He made the call and request. Once that was done, he knew he should speak with Kelly. He had to be direct with Kelly, to prepare her for the harsh reality without letting despair overwhelm her. But how could he frame it? He could picture her eyes widening in disbelief, the way her brows would knit together as she processed the information. He didn't want to see the spark of determination fade from her expression. He glanced at the footage on the screen, which showed the empty parking garage and the entrance to Cognac Creek, mocking him. Wyatt's mind raced through the implications. If this man had been Ava's undoing, what exactly had happened? Where could she be? And how did Molly Calhoun play into all this? If she did. There was still no proof that Molly had anything to do with it, only Kelly's unanswered question. The thoughts tumbling through his mind were disheartening as the Cumberland River rushed into his thoughts. The image of the past 5 women being dragged out dead and bloated. He vowed he wouldn't let it happen. He got up, crossed the room, and placed 2 yellow with the initials AM on the map. With a resolute nod, he decided he would be honest yet compassionate with Kelly. He would explain the situation clearly, ensuring she understood the gravity of their next steps. They couldn't afford to lose momentum now. They had to regroup and figure out where to go from here. But first, he had to find the right words to break the news. It was going to be a hard conversation. Stalling, he decided to use the restroom first. And that concludes chapter 36. Oh, poor Kelly. Poor Kelly. She's gotta be a wreck, I tell ya. Blaze, can I just call you Blaze? Thank you for the follow. Or is it Leah Blaze? Maybe the X is for fun? Wait, that didn't sound right. Either way, welcome in. Yes, you may. Wonderful. Thank you. Good to see you. Thank you for the follow. We're just about to start another marble race while we're in between chapters. I'm going to take a quick bio break. And then we'll keep going. So let's pull this up. How are you? What are we reading? So just below my face on camera is the title of the book, Tennessee Wishes. If you do !wishes, you will actually get a link to the book, to our author, who is in chat with us tonight. And yeah, we're cruising right along. We're getting some momentum on this story. All right, race is ready. I'm gonna leave the screen as it is. I'm gonna start the timer. I'm gonna run to the restroom, and then I'll be right back. Yellow. Well, it started. What I miss. Oh, Aim's in here. Hello, Aim. Good to see you. All right. Take a sip of my tea. I ran ads, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Meow. Man, y'all be zooming. Or at least you were. Slowing down. Come on.
Oh, that's not a
Hell
good spot.
Divers. Great game. Played a little bit of that last night with my buddies. It was a good time. This race is interesting. You saw that? Yeah. Yeah, you did. Was tempted to pop in and watch? You should have. You should have. Would have been wonderful. We don't get to play every week, but when we do, it's a wonderful time. Nothing brings people together like the common bond of blowing stuff up and shooting, killing bugs. Cat box for the win. Woo. All right, folks. It's time for another chapter. Chapter 37 is Callie's perspective, which makes sense because the detective was about to give her some not so great real information about what was actually going on in the case and all that stuff. So let's see. Kelly walked down the quiet corridor, her steps slow and heavy, her mind a haze of jumbled thoughts. It was late, and the night shift was primarily out of the building on patrol. She pushed open the door to the women's restroom, the quiet click of the latch almost too loud in the otherwise empty hallway. Inside, the fluorescent lights buzzed overhead as she stepped up to the sink. Without thinking, she splashed cold water onto her face, the shock of the chill cutting through the fog of exhaustion. She stared at her reflection in the mirror, trying to shake off the grogginess. The woman staring back at her wasn't someone she recognized. Dark circles hung under her eyes like bruises, and her hair, usually so neat, was slightly mussed. She dug through her purse, fingers trembling slightly, and pulled out a compact mirror. Thank you for the follow, Lorenzo DeBoss. Were you the boss in 2010, or are you the boss since 2010? Either way, no judgment. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Either one. I mean, whatever works, right? With practiced hands, she refreshed her makeup. A touch of blush, a thin line of eyeliner. Anything to hide the weariness. Then she ran her fingers through her hair, trying to smooth it. Finished, she studied herself again. Not perfect, but better. A hint of energy returned as she straightened her shoulders. She wasn't about to let exhaustion take over, and wasn't here to win a beauty contest. She was here for a reason, to find Ava. She pushed open the restroom door and went down the hall to Detective Lockhart's office. His door was ajar, just enough for her to peek inside. She knocked softly, then pushed the door open further, her breath catching when she saw the scene before her. Detective Lockhart? Her voice came out softer than she intended, shaky even. She stepped inside, her eyes immediately drawn to the wall. A large map of Nashville covered most of it, pink pins scattered in 2 concentrated locations, lines connecting them like a web of some dark, unsettling puzzle. At the center, written in bold red marker, was a phrase that made her blood run cold. Cumberland Killer. Venora, hello. How lovely to see you. How are ya? It's been a hot minute. How is our frog queen this evening? Can we get a shout out for Venora, please? You're good? I'm doing well, thank you. I'm doing quite well. I'm good. Had a good Father's Day with the Frog Dad. Excellent. Lovely. Happy to hear it. What were you last getting up to? Date everything? Oh my. Does he know that you're trying to date everything? I mean, and we're talking everything. Are we talking like inanimate objects here? Yes? Oh, God. Well, fantastic. Venora finds a lamp. Hi. So, I'm just going to get straight to the point. How do I turn you on? Aw, Venora, you didn't have to do that. Thank you for the 1,000 bits. That was... You... Stop it. You just got here. Calm down. The coffee pot is hot? I bet it is. I like a woman like I like my tea. Tan and milky and sweet. We'll go with that. Don't tell me what to do. I can. It's my stream. But thank you, though. Seriously, that was super kind of you. For reals. I lost my place. We just started a chapter, and I've lost my place. I like my men like I like my soda. Cool, chill, and spurting out my nose when I swallow wrong. Okay. Well, things have taken a turn.
Hi, Cat here. I'm just gonna sit in my box and watch the stream, if that's okay.
Hey, aren't you a good girl? Right. Putting myself in timeout. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to keep reading because I found my place. Her heart stopped when she noticed the yellow ones with the initials AM. You shouldn't be in here. His voice cut through the silence like a whip, low and sharp, making Kelly feel like a child caught doing something wrong. She turned slowly, her pulse racing as she faced Detective Lockhart. He stood in the doorway, his posture rigid, arms crossed over his chest. His eyes, dark and unreadable, were fixed on her with a kind of intensity that made her stomach tighten. I'm sorry, she stammered, stepping back toward the desk, creating space between them. I was just looking for you. The door was open, and I... Lockhart didn't let her finish. His gaze flicked over her, then back to the map on the wall, his expression hardening. You shouldn't be in here, he reiterated. His voice held a quiet warning, suggesting he wasn't just talking about a simple breach of privacy. Kelly swallowed, trying to steady her breathing. I didn't mean to intrude. I thought you were in your office. She gestured vaguely, hoping to diffuse the tension, but her mind was reeling. Cumberland Killer. The words alone felt like a weight pressing against her chest. She hadn't dared to think it before, but clearly he did. Lockhart stepped further into the room, his presence filling the space. He didn't look at her directly, but at the map, his gaze lingering on it with a strange intensity that made Kelly unease grow. He did. You don't know what you're looking at. His voice softened, but the sharpness was still there, like a dagger to her heart. She opened her mouth to protest, but the words died on her lips. She did know what she was looking at. She wasn't blind. She recognized some of the places marked on the map. what she believed was the location of the bodies where they may have gone into the river and where they pulled it from. The paths that connected them, each one a grim reminder of the case that had haunted Nashville for weeks now. The Cumberland killer was real, and he was leaving a trail that no one could seem to track. And now Ava was missing. It didn't take a detective to guess what was happening here. Wyatt? She thought better of using his first name. Detective Lockhart? Kelly hesitated, the words heavy in her throat. She'd never been good at hiding her thoughts, but now, with the weight of Ava missing pressing down on her, it felt impossible to speak freely. Still, she had to try. She had to know. I came to tell you. Her thoughts shifted, but she needed to hear him say it. Is this Thump Gaming in my chat? Wait, what? Hey, Thump. Is this... Do you think this is connected to Ava's disappearance? Her voice barely rose above a whisper, but Wyatt heard it. He tensed, his jaw tightening as he glanced at her, the briefest flicker of regret flashing in his eyes. For a moment, Wyatt just stood there, staring at her, his gaze piercing and full of something she couldn't quite identify. Then, without warning, he turned toward the map, running his fingers over the pins and string with a calmness that contrasted sharply with the tension in the room. You're right. I believe Ava's disappearance is connected. We would be naive to think that it wasn't. She fits the profile. The only difference is that you reported her missing. These other women, he shook his head, haven't been. The best I can figure is they don't have much of a family to miss them, or they aren't close to the ones they have. His voice was colder now, distant. Kelly's breath hitched. The Cumberland killer. Just reading the words chilled her to the bone. Before she could react, Wyatt's eyes flicked back to her, sharp as knives. I need you to stay out of this, Kelly. It's not a game. How dare you? My daughter is missing. Believe me, I know it's not a game. She turned on her heel and pushed past him, needing to escape. She took a few steps and realized she was headed in the wrong direction. She stopped abruptly and changed direction. Now she was going to have to pass him again. Wyatt stood in the middle of the hall, filling it with his body. He held out his hand to slow her down. Kelly, wait. Wyatt spoke, his voice calmer and more comforting. I'm sorry. That was completely out of line. I was completely out of line, and it was highly insensitive. Please, I want to hear what you have to say. Kelly's mind raced. Should she accept his apology? She had invaded his office unannounced and uninvited. It was her fault as much as his. She had breached his privacy. But the only thing she could think of was the chilling words written in red, Cumberland killer. The unease clung to her like a second skin. She wasn't going to walk away. Not now. Her daughter needed her. She relented. I'm sorry too. I should never have stepped inside your office when it was clear you weren't there. Please forgive me. Only if you forgive me. Apology accepted. He looked back at his office. Let's go back to the conference room. She followed him down the hall. He pulled out a chair for her, and she sat, her half-eaten sandwich still on the table. Now, what did you want to tell me? Was it something you remembered? She pulled out her phone, her fingers brushing lightly against the screen as she navigated to the photo. I took a picture the other day. It's the most recent photo of Ava I have. She shrugged. I wasn't sure if you needed it for anything. Well, that's good. His voice was low and warm, and she felt the subtle shift in the air as he leaned in just a little closer. Their shoulders brushed lightly, a casual touch, but the closeness felt intimate in a way she couldn't explain. He glanced at the photo, his breath close against her ear. Can you send it to me? Something in the moment, something in their shared space, made her heart beat a little faster. Of course. Detective Lockhart? The voice cut through the quiet, and both of them turned at the same time. The shift in his posture was almost imperceptible, but enough for Kelly to feel the sudden distance between them. A head poked through the door. Wyatt straightened up immediately, his expression neutral as he turned toward the interruption. Kelly felt an inexplicable mix of relief and disappointment, the moment slipping away as quickly as it had come. Sorry to interrupt, the young officer said. You're not. What is it? A call came in for you from the parking garage off Broadway. They were able to retrieve some additional footage from Monday evening. She held out the message. Detective Lockhart stood quickly. Excuse me. I need to take this call. And take the call he did, because that's the end of the chapter. Isn't it interesting how even in a time of desperation and uncertainty, two people can find something else between each other? And in my mind, I think it's because in their own way, they are both looking for a safe place to be amidst all of the, well, all the crap, all the bad. And when you find that within each other, it's like two magnets coming together, and it just makes it easy. I think the interesting thing will be after Ava is found, assuming we find her. I don't actually know, but let's assume that we do. What happens then? Do the fuzzy, warm feelings go away? Oh my God, that is a straight shot down. Holy crap. Who knows? All I know is 90 seconds on the clock to get your ball in the race. That's right. Take out your ball and let me play with it. It's just a Marball, by the way. Don't get any sick ideas. How's the puzzle coming along? Super, you should have been done by now. I bet if Stunt was doing the puzzle, she would have finished. I'm just saying. Too late. I came in with the sick ideas. Well, I mean, I pretty much expect that, though, Cat. Pretty much. It's been a while, and I'm alone. It's been a while since I played with a ball. Oh, and we're off. This is just one big ass drop. I thought Super was playing the puzzle too. Oh, he left. Jeez. What a guy. Is it literally just one drop? Oh, there was a what? Just that was it? Okay. All right. Note to self. Pick a different race next time. That was weird. It's just literally a straight drop. Okay. Oh well. Right. Love it. Chapter 38. Remember, tonight's a little bit longer because I won't be here Tuesday to read, so I wanted to get in some extra time with y'all. Because I care. And I want to see where the story goes. Gosh darn it. I need to know if Ava is found. Okay, here we go. Chapter 38. Chapter 38 is from Owen Lane's perspective. Owen drug himself out of bed and stumbled to the dresser, grabbing clean underwear and a t-shirt. He made his way into the bathroom and turned on the shower. He had tossed and turned all night again, his brain trying to decipher where Ava could be and how he could find her. Oh wait, exclamation point heal, right? Does that actually work? Oh, I did heal a bit. It wasn't much, but it happened. I saw it. Okay. Stepping into the shower, he replayed how Stella had clapped him on the shoulder, her eyes sparkling enthusiastically. The conversation came back to him. I think those are the best sets you've ever had. You're coming into your own. Her words had felt like a warm embrace, filling him with needed validation. Thanks, he had replied, but he couldn't take all the credit. The band was on fire. The energy they had created together had been electric, each member feeding off the other's passion. But beneath that, he couldn't ignore the relentless images of Ava that danced in his mind. She had been his inspiration that had ignited a fire within him throughout the night. Toby had stood there with a satisfied grin plastered across his face. He acknowledged the compliment with a confident head bob. We were good, weren't we? His voice held a mix of pride. Good? More like phenomenal. Stella had laughed, her excitement infectious. I mean, the crowd was into it. I could feel the energy in the air. She gestured animatedly as if trying to capture the atmosphere of the night with her hands. You could see everyone hanging on every note, every word, completely lost in the music. That's what it's all about. Owen's heart had swelled at her compliment. He knew she didn't hand them out readily, but a twinge of anxiety had lingered beneath the surface. The applause had been thunderous, but amidst the celebration, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. Something was wrong. You think we've improved? He had asked, seeking reassurance. Her encouraging smile was enough to dissolve some of his doubts. Well, absolutely, she replied earnestly. You've got something special, Owen. Just keep channeling it, whatever it is. Her words had hung in the air, stirring a mix of hope and uncertainty within him. He knew what it was. It was Ava. Owen stepped out of the shower, dried off, and slipped into clean clothes. He made his way to the kitchen and noticed the German Shepherd waiting patiently by the back door, ready to go out. Zarias is here. The puzzle needs you, Zarias. Honor it with your sacrifice. He let the dog out and proceeded to make coffee. The coffee trickled into the pot as he let the dog back in. Gunner, he thought his name, but couldn't make himself say it out loud. Owen watched the dog as he walked around the kitchen, ignored his food bowl, took a few laps of water, and searched for his favorite toy. Owen always buried the toy in the house when the German Shepherd wasn't looking, for two reasons. The vet had said it was good for him to keep up his skills even just a little bit if there was ever any hope for him to heal and return to normal. And two, he couldn't stand the sight of the suffered bear because it was a toy that his brother Dylan had given the dog when he had first brought him home from the academy. Without fail, he religiously hid the stuffed bear all over the townhouse. Once found, the dog would curl up with the plush animal, its worn faux fur offering comfort. The little toy, now faded and frayed, still had a blue Kansas wristband wrapped around its arms, matching the headband his brother wore. The bear seemed to absorb the quiet sadness in the room, its once vibrant brown now dulled by time. As the dog nestled closer, there was a gentle, almost mournful warmth, a reminder of something lost, yet still held close. Owen couldn't take his eyes off the pitiful dog. If only it were that easy for you to bring back a person. Are you talking to yourself again or the dog? Toby asked, coming in from outside, sweat dripping off of him. He stepped into the mudroom and grabbed a towel to dry his moist face. Moist. The dog. Did he answer you? No. What did you ask him this time? Owen shrugged and slumped back into his chair. I just commented. Which was? Toby asked, gesturing to pull it out of his friend. Owen was irritated. I just said if he could only bring back a person as easily as he finds that damn bear. I'm afraid, however well trained that dog may or may not be, he'd never be able to bring Dylan back. You think I don't know that? Owen replied gruffly. Then he straightened. But what if he could bring back Ava? Toby raked the sweat-soaked towel over his damp head and tossed it in the hamper. Well, now that would be something. Suddenly fully awake, Owen asked, Do you think it's possible? I don't know. He's trained to sniff out drugs and shit, so maybe. Narcotics. Aw, you earned a bit badge. Yay. Well earned. Well, that's what I said, drugs and shit. Toby grinned at him. Wasn't your brother trying to cross-train him just before he died? Owen tilted his head in thought. He was. I don't know how far he got with it, though. He stood, wishing he had paid better attention, and looked at the dog. He picked up his cell and searched for the number. There's only one way to find out. And then there was a break in the story. Are they going to try and use some of Ava's clothes and have the dog go find her? That would be awesome. Go get him, Lassie. I mean, Gunner. Right. Break in the story. Continuing. Owen pulled into the gravel parking lot of the K9 training facility. The place was tucked away on the outskirts of town, a sprawling expanse of open fields and obstacle courses surrounded by woods purposely built for training working dogs like Gunner. The facility was well maintained and had a sense of organic organization. Different sections were set up for agility drills, scent detection exercises, and tactical scenarios, each designed to push the dogs to their limits. Gunnar, sitting upright in the passenger seat, was calm but alert. His eyes darted between Owen and the approaching entrance, his powerful frame vibrating with pent-up energy. It had been a while since he'd been here, and Owen could feel the dog's sense of familiarity set in. This was where Gunnar had first proven himself, and met Dylan. The moment the truck rolled to a stop, Owen turned to Gunnar, offering a rare but knowing smile. Ready? The dog didn't need words. His tail thumped twice against the seat in answer. Owen exited the truck, tossing the leash over the German Shepherd's head and clipped it to his collar. The dog was ready for something. Owen just hoped he was prepared enough himself, but in the same breath, he didn't want to be disappointed. He had called his brother's buddy, Theron, a seasoned canine handler who ran the training facility. Owen had known Theron for years, and Theron was always happy to help. He'd been there after Dylan died, and Gunnar needed rehabilitation from his injuries, guiding both of them through the healing process. Hey, Theron. Owen stuck out his hand as the man came toward him. I appreciate you seeing us today. Theron was friendly. Yeah, of course. I've already got a few runs set up. You want to see him on agility first, or do you want to test him on a scent trail? Owen ran a hand through his hair, glancing at Gunnar as the dog sat quietly beside him, his body humming with anticipation. He watched every move the men made. Let's start with agility. Then, depending on how he does, we can run him through the scent tracking. It's been a while. I don't want to overstimulate him with something new just yet when I'm not sure how well he'll do with the basics. Theron nodded. Sounds good. They made their way toward the far side of this facility, where the agility course stood, an array of jumps, tunnels, and weave poles designed to test speed, coordination, and focus. I pulled his file before you arrived. He flipped open the manila folder. Looked like the vet gave him a clean bill of health on the last time you were here. That he did. Owen unclipped the leash, a small pit in his stomach, and led Gunnar onto the starting line. Theron waited by the start with the folder tucked under his arm. All right, Gunnar. Let's see if you still got it. Owen gave a final look at Gunnar, not sure what to expect. The dog was still, eyes locked on Owen's as his hind legs quivered with anticipation. Owen gave the command, and Gunnar shot off the line, sprinting toward the first obstacle. Owen watched, a little apprehensive as the German Shepherd navigated the course, his movements smooth yet practiced. He cleared the jumps effortlessly, powered through the tunnels, and weaved through the poles with precision. The bond between handler and dog was undeniable. Gunnar was in his element, and Owen wasn't far behind, moving at the same rhythm, giving quiet commands with every turn. Gunnar leaped over the final hurdle, skidding slightly in the dirt before stopping at Owen's side. Theron clapped his hands, impressed. Damn, Owen. He's got speed. Let's see how he handles something more challenging. They tried another course, both dog and man, and found the trust and mutual respect they had lacked these past few months. Before, Owen had been just going through the motions, doing only what needed to be done to rehabilitate the dog. He was surprised at himself how much he had retained and how much he enjoyed watching Gunnar go through the course. Owen gave Gunnar a good rub and a much-deserved treat when they were finished. Theron grinned at the two of them. Want to give him a shot on tracking? Owen nodded, letting Gunnar catch his breath. Let's do it. Theron set up a new challenge, a scent trail that would lead the dog through the woods. The area was designed to simulate real-world conditions, where the dog must track a suspect or locate a missing person. But since Gunnar hadn't been at the facility in a while, Theron kept it simple yet strategic. Well, this'll be a good test of his focus and scent recognition, Theron said as he dropped a glove along the trail and waved Owen over. Dylan was making good progress with him, but it's been a while. Wait, that was... haha. Dylan was making good progress with him, but it's been a while. It will be a learning curve for both of you. Well, that's an understatement. Can you remind me of some additional signals Dylan was working on him with? Theron scanned the chart and filled Owen in on commands. You ready? Owen patted Gunnar's side and the dog stood tall, sniffing the air. Let's do it. What's the worst that could happen? Theron gave the command and showed him the first item with the scent. Gunnar immediately dropped his nose to the ground, his ears flicking as he began to search. Owen watched intently, his pulse steady but quickening with the anticipation of seeing Gunnar's skills tested. It was a moment of complete focus. Gunnar's body was low to the ground, each step deliberate, his nose working in precise motions as he tracked the scent through the thick underbrush. Theron followed closely behind, watching Gunnar's every move with a critical eye. He's got a solid nose. Looks like he's found something. Gunnar suddenly stopped, losing the scent. He circled, the trees swayed, the wind changed direction. His body tensed, and his gaze locked ahead. He let out a low bark and moved toward a tree where Theron had hidden another item. Pleased, Owen was beginning to think this might work. He made the call and prayed she'd pick up. And that is the conclusion of chapter 38. Now, who is...
It helps so much.
This
Thank
is
you.
That's my purse. I don't know you.
That's my purse. I don't know you. Look at the accent.
Thank you, Rexter. I'm assuming the person that he is talking about is Kelly, because, I mean, who else is he going to call? But yeah, definitely sounds like the dog's got a chance. But finding something inside a section of wood is a lot different than finding something in an entire city. You're welcome, good sir. Rexter, how you doing? You feeling any better? I hope so. You doing well? Good. Because last time I saw you, you were still under the weather. We can't have that now, can we? And dead. No, sir, we can't. That's right. Man, how many chapters have we read tonight? We started on chapter 31. We just finished chapter 38. We are cooking with gas, baby. Aw, Rexter, thank you for giving a sub. That was super kind of you. And that's another count to the spin. No, wait, nope, sorry. I can't do that because you gave it, so I took it away. I took it away. Doesn't mean I can't do this, though. Stare. I took it away. We're doing double spins tonight, by the way. So, good luck. Oh, man, you were close. You're about 12 pages away. I still didn't get this wheel. The wheel represents this book right here. On page 133, or was it the other book? I thought it was this one. Hold on. Maybe it wasn't that one. I figured it out. So it is the same book, it's just the wrong one of that book. But right here on page 133, you see that star? The wheel represents the pages of this book that I wrote some years ago. So I picked out a random number, or a random page, and normally when the subs happen, I would say, hey, pick a page number between 1 and whatever. But that was taking a long time. And so instead, I translated all those pages into wheel wedges, which, believe me, took a hot minute. And so there, I just let the wheel decide our fate instead. You wrote a book? Yeah, I've written like 8. Send me the link? No. My books are terrible. So, here's my question to the chat. I could either call it a night or do one more chapter and then call it a night. Because I do have to get up pretty darn early in the morning. Like 5 a.m. So I can get to the airport. Yay. Why y'all doing this behind my back? Three more chapters? No. I do need to sleep tonight at some point. But I can certainly do one more. Good idea? Okay. All right. I was heading to sleep 4 hours ago. No comment. All right, chapter 39 from Owen Lane's perspective. Owen met Kelly in the parking garage where Ava's car had been located and where Ava was last seen. She handed Owen the t-shirt without any fanfare. Please don't get your hopes up. Or wait, that was him. Please don't get your hopes up. Oh crap, there's ads starting. Son of a biscuit. I'm gonna try and snooze as many as I can. Please don't get your hopes up, he warned her. Gunner is rusty, and this isn't usually the type of thing he tracks. He's been trained in narcotics, but my brother worked him to start cross-training for missing people. Gunner is exceptionally talented. Kelly nodded. It's worth a shot, right? She asked, her voice hopeful. It is. He took the shirt from her. Although it's been a few days, the area is protected from the weather, so that should play in our favor. He took a deep breath. Here goes nothing. Owen presented the t-shirt to the German Shepherd. His keen nose twitched as he took in the scent, and the canine's nostrils flared as he processed the information. Owen gave the command, track, and quickly the dog began to circle. Gunner stiffened, and without command he turned to the left, his nose lowered to the ground. While anticipating the dog's next move, Owen unclipped the leash and allowed him to take the lead. The German Shepherd was off like a bullet, his nose to the ground, following the invisible line of scent that only he could perceive. Owen moved quickly, staying several paces behind as they began working across the concrete structure. Owen had only been trailing Gunner for a few minutes, weaving in and out of parked cars, slowly descending the car ramp, when the dog suddenly slowed and veered toward the corner of the parking garage. The German Shepherd's movements were precise and methodical as he worked around a Suburban. His nose hovered just above the ground, skimming the cracks and creases in the concrete. He stopped momentarily, ears flicking back. Something was there. Find it, Gunner, Owen urged. He rooted through a pile of trash accumulated in the corner with a renewed focus. Owen moved closer, scanning the area for security cameras. He could see a small one at the far end of the landing, where the ramp turned and declined. A few discarded plastic bottles and fast food wrappers lay in disarray. It wasn't much, just the litter that accumulated in abandoned parking lots. But then, something caught his eye. A flash of black, half covered by trash, its edges sharp against the fluorescent light. Gunner was on it in an instant. His paws brushed against something, and he nudged it with his nose, letting out a sharp bark. Good boy, Owen whispered, kneeling beside the dog. He reached into the pile of trash. Wedged between the concrete wall and the parking block, Owen could see a cell phone. Carefully pulling the phone free, he noted it was a smartphone. It was scuffed, and the screen was cracked, but hopeful that it is still functional. Owen's pulse quickened as he prayed it was Ava's. He checked the back for any identifying marks, stepped back around a large vehicle, and had Kelly take a look. Tears welled as she nodded, confirming it was Ava's cell phone. Shouldn't the police be, involved? Because anything they find can be considered evidence. And if they mess with it, that means they're tampering with it, and therefore it could be inadmissible. So... Owen tapped the phone screen. It was dead. He left Kelly with the phone and returned to where Gunner was still working, his paws skimming through the trash. Gunner turned a slow circle and moved up and back. Owen was sure the trail stopped there since the dog couldn't seem to go any further. He let the dog release and relax. The tracking was over. Let's go back to my SUV and see if we can get this phone working. The sooner the better, Kelly agreed. They crawled into Owen's SUV and he plugged the phone in. The device flickered to life with a faint buzz, the crack in the glass distorting the display. It needs a password. Snooze, Owen said. Try her birthday? Kelly gave him the numbers, and he punched them in. That was it. I'm in. He hesitated. Do you want me to look, or do you want to? Go ahead, Kelly said softly. He scrolled through the phone, feeling an increasing discomfort with each swipe. The process felt invasive, wrong even. What would Ava think if she knew a man she barely knew was rifling through her private messages? His stomach twisted at the thought, but he quickly shoved the feeling down. She's missing, maybe hurt or worse, he told himself, trying to rationalize the invasion of her privacy. See if you can find VidCom. It's a messaging and video sharing platform that Ava often uses with her friends, Kelly informed him. Ava is always on it, sending short video messages, voice notes, and texts. That's how Molly contacted her about this opportunity. Owen found the messaging video app that Kelly had mentioned. He tapped the icon. The first screen that greeted him was a wall of recent contacts and threads, each featuring a small thumbnail of videos. His eyes skimmed over the names. His thumb hovered over the last thread. It was marked as read, and the contact name was Molly Calhoun. The timestamp showed that the previous message had been recorded days before it was sent. Should we try this one? He asked. Kelly peered down at the screen as he hesitated over it. That's probably the one Ava watched on the way here or at the apartment before she left for work. Do you want to watch it? Owen asked Kelly. She nodded hesitantly. I think we have to. Molly's face appeared on the screen, and they watched the short clip. She looks different, Kelly said quietly. There's something in her eyes. Like what? Owen asked, curious. Kelly shook her head. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm imagining it, but there seems to be an urgency that doesn't fit Molly's carefree personality. Maybe we should watch another one and compare. Oh, good idea. Go back a couple of weeks before Molly came to Nashville. Here's one from a month ago. Owen touched the thumbnail, and the video started. They watched in silence as Molly's voice filled the vehicle. Hey everyone, I just want to share my news. I got the invite. I'm going to Nashville. I found this cute place to live, and I'll be waitressing at Cognac Creek. The place is hopping, and it has such an authentic country atmosphere. I'm ecstatic to be working there, and hope to get on stage sooner or later. What do you think? What I think is, where the heck is my music? What do you think? Owen was silent for a moment. I don't remember ever seeing her at the restaurant. I meant about the tone in which she's talking, the difference in her expression, that sort of thing. Well, it's a different vibe than the last message, for sure. Let's show Detective Lockhart. I agree. I'll give him a call. She looked out the window, her eyes scanning the parking lot. He couldn't tell if she was lost in thought or just waiting for anything that might make the nightmare end. We won't stop. Not until we find her. To his surprise, she asked, Can I ask about your brother? He swallowed hard. Of course. What do you want to know? Kelly looked at him with the sadness he only imagined a mother could have. Was that really the last song? Sure was. What happened? Owen pulled in a long breath to settle his nerves. Dylan was the victim of a hit and run. Gunner, too. The dog lifted his head at the mention of his name. Well, Dylan was pronounced dead at the scene. I'm so sorry. Owen accepted this with a slight nod. Do they have any leads? Not many. It was very early in the morning, still dark. They were out for their routine run. Dylan kept odd hours, but was religious about keeping Gunner on a tight schedule. So it wasn't unusual for him to be out at that time. Dylan always joked that the only other people out at that hour were drunks and criminals. Owen shifted in his seat. There was no traffic, no witnesses. The only thing they have to go on are some skid marks and tiny flecks of white paint embedded in Dylan's skin where the vehicle connected. How long has it been? 6 months. It's still fresh and new then. I can't tell you how sorry I am that this happened to you and your family, she said, putting her hand on his arm. I appreciate it. Is there anything I can do for you or your family? He was surprised. Here was this woman he had only known for a few days offering to do something for him and his family, while her daughter was missing. A whisper of a smile played on his lips. No, ma'am. We're managing. Thank you, though. He started the SUV. Let's get this over to Detective Lockhart. And that concludes chapter 39. So when we do get back to reading, which will be Sunday next week, we'll crack on with chapter 40, because that's how that works. All right, I have 3 minutes until the ads are going to be forced upon all of us, whether we like them or not. So what I'm going to try and do is find a soul for us to go raid. And I already think I know who that's going to be. Yes. We're going to raid my buddy Thump. He's a good chap. Thank you for the stories. Absolutely. Please copy this raid message. Doesn't matter if you're subbed or not. And let's go say hello to Thump. Thank you for reading. Have a good night. Nice trip. Thank you. Yes, I hope it goes well myself. And then I can be at home for a while. But yes, thank you for being here. Thank you for the love poured out tonight. I am going to miss y'all. I do get back Thursday, but I don't think I'll be back in time to stream. So that's, that's a thing. So I think our next stream will be Sunday. So until then, as I always like to say, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Have an amazing night.